Give a warm round of applause to the Reverend Dr. Ken Wilcox.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Eddie Watkins Jr. Listen to this guy. Isn't he amazing how lucky we are? Yeah, he's amazing. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Reverend Ken Wilcox. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living of St. Augustine. If you're here for the first time, we're glad we have you here visiting. If you're online watching us, we're glad you're doing that. But boy, being here in person really there's a lot of energy and a lot of love. So be sure you check us out. Now, as I said, we're a unique spiritual community. We don't have dogma. We don't tell you what you should believe. We encourage you to come up with a God of your own understanding, one that you can put to work in your life. And to put that Spirit to work in your life, we only ask you to do one simple thing each Sunday morning, and that is to leave all your troubles, your would'ves, your could'ves, your should'ves, to leave that stuff outside. And for the next 45 minutes or so, to open up an avenue of Spirit possibilities. And what are Spirit possibilities? Well, they're for more love, more joy, more happiness, more prosperity, more laughter, more dance, more friendship, all those things in life that make us feel alive. That's what Spirit is doing through you and through me, showing up in the physical, recognizing itself through our love, our joy, and our laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. Well, several announcements today. At 11:30 after service, we have a course in miracles. Jerry is doing that. Stand up, Jerry is doing that. It's going to be a study in Course of Miracles. So be sure to stick around for that. Linda Phelps is coming up now because we've got a donation we are giving to the Betty Griffith Shelter. That's the shelter that helps women and families fleeing violence. And Linda's going to share with us a little bit about what we're doing. Hang on a second. Let me get your mic.
When our previous minister died, she left a fund for abused women. And a lot of our members, especially past members who remember her, continue to donate to that fund. But we were a little unsatisfied with, so we've been giving it to Betty Griffin, but we were unsatisfied with the feedback that we had and how they were using our money. So now we have an arrangement where the money's going to go directly to child care for mothers in the shelter or in their 6 apartments that they can move to for 2 years after they're in the shelter. So their costs are about $500 to $1,000 a week for childcare. It's just for mothers who either are working or are looking for a job. And it includes, there is a church here in the community that has very, very low rates based on your income. So they pay the $150 fee to be have their income evaluated. And they also contribute to after-school programs for kids who are already in school and whose mothers can't pick them up at the end of school. So we're going to have a big fundraiser coming up soon, but anytime you feel the urge, contribute to the Elizabeth Clare Fund. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. It's back. So as she mentioned, money is going to for daycare and childcare. Childcare is so unbelievably expensive. It's just, if you haven't done it lately, it's pretty amazing. And we want to give these women an opportunity to survive on their own. Unfortunately, the statistics are that most women go back to their abusers. So we want to help because, boy, if we can get these families out of a violent situation, we are going to help everyone. So thank you, Linda, and thank you, Betty Griffith. We have chair yoga. If you want to take advantage of that, it's really good for you, and it's a lot of fun. That's on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock. We've got a card outside that can help you expand our social media reach. So grab one of those and help us out with that. Our Venus Manley Scholarship Program is coming up, and that lovely lady is helping organize reading the essays and doing the interviews. If you're feeling just a little bit discouraged about life, sign up to do one of these, because these kids are so amazing. They're kids that have had a challenge most of their lives. They're kids that have been bullied and rejected and isolated, but they still hold to a vision of what they want to accomplish. And it really is amazing. I remember one young lady, she was totally blind, had been since birth. She wanted to become a microbiologist. And she talked about how down at the school for the blind, she had to pass a test. The test was she had to get to the school on her own, and the biggest challenge is crossing the street. Because she says you can listen, you can wait for the light, but at some point you have to step out in faith and just believe there's not a car coming. Imagine dealing with that. Imagine being a parent sending a child out. So these kids have come through a lot, and we want to support them, and it will really uplift you and inspire. Well, those are all my announcements, so I know Eddie's got some amazing music. Eddie, what you got for us this morning?
Well, we're saying yes to life. Maestro. We agree, live in harmony, and set aside all that divides for the sake of humanity. Would you say yes? Yes, yes, yes. If it could be that we agree to meet on common ground, plant a tree and spread the fruit of love all around. Will you say yes? Yes, yes, yes. Come on, everybody, sing with me. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. If you believe in you and me, say yes, yes, yes. Believe like I believe we can make a better world. Listening to each other till every voice is heard. Singing yes, 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 yes. What would you say if we found a way to end all poverty, so all could live with dignity from sea to shining sea? Oh, would you say yes? Come on, everybody, sing with me. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. If you believe in you and me, sing yes, yes, yes. Woo! Come on, everybody, sing with me. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. If you believe in you and me, sing yes, yes, yes. Woo! Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Yes, yes, yes. If you believe in you and me, say yes, yes, yes. Yes!
All right, now we're going to get our service going with the reading and treatment, and we got the lovely Maureen coming up to do it for us.
Yes, thank you, God, for Eddie Watkins Jr. What a wonderful place. All of these wonderful, beautiful faces. I'm so happy to be here with all of you and so grateful to be the practitioner for this morning. I just have to get my new glasses in the reading here. And the reading is from this month's Science of Mind magazine, and it is actually the one from today, the 23rd. And Eugene Holden is the author and the guide for this month. yesterday. I had a hard time deciding between yesterday's or today's. So if you have a chance to read it, yesterday's is great. And it's called Freedom is a State of Mind. But today's is Now is the Time. Fear keeps us focused on the past or worried about the future. If we can acknowledge our fear, we can realize that right now we are okay. From Thich Nhat Hanh. Because of this infinite thing that overshadows unity and finds its abiding place in me, that good is now mine. That good is now mine. All good. From Ernest Hone. The past is gone and the future isn't here yet. All we really have is now. When we think of the past or the future, we think in this moment, right now. This precious moment is all we truly have. And it's all we really truly own. The question is, what do we choose to do with it? Do we choose to squander it on thoughts of past hurts and resentments? Or do we invest this moment in thinking about the things that bring harmony to our world? Now is the time to show up as the presence of love. Now is the time to show up as peace. Now is the time to be still and know that we are the ones the world has been waiting for. The truth is, you are the one you've been waiting for. What we do in this moment is important to our lives. The thoughts we keep in this moment are important to our freedom or to our bondage. What are you going to do in this moment right now? What do you choose to be? What gifts and talents will you share with the world? Here's the thing. Only you can answer those questions. I ask only that you think about them now, because now is the time, and you are so needed. And his affirmation is, I am free now. Now I am abundant. I am love in action, now and forever. Both of those readings, the one from yesterday and the one from today, as I was contemplating them, I wrote down a few things about the vibration and the energy I was feeling from it. So I'd like to share that with you. Feeling the energy permeating my entire being. The calm assurance of all is beyond well. It is beyond the visible. It is reality with a capital R. It is mine now and always, constant and certain, and I am eternally grateful. And this month's theme for the magazine is radical interconnection. And we did a little bit of the connection this morning in the meditation service. And connection for me is the sweet acknowledgement of a oneness, of a deeper bonding of spirit. And on that note, I invite you to turn within. And let us open our hearts wide, knowing that as we do, it elevates our own consciousness and the consciousness of the world. Being together and sharing prayer raises the frequency beyond what we can even possibly imagine. And I know that that is happening right here and right now. In this service, with the message from Reverend Ken, the music from Eddie, and all of the people here participating in those online in consciousness with us. Just being here, we are giving to ourselves, to the world, into our certainty of knowing that everything is truly okay. All is well. And it is happening because we are making it happen. And Spirit gives us the strength to do this. I give thanks for this center and all the wonderful works it does, because it comes from our inner works. Each person that makes it possible, which is all of us. I thank our media team, David, Paul, and Miles, our board, all of the volunteers making hospitality possible, workshops possible, our ongoingness to the community and to each other. I give thanks, knowing it is so, it is already done, and I let it be. And together, let us say, and so it is.
Thank you, Maureen.
Looking back on this life, I'm filled with gratitude. I've come so far, and it's all because of you. So I testify, each word is true. Every time I was tired of trying and about to break into, I lean into you, lean into you. No matter what I'm going through, your love is what I hold on to. I lean into you, lean into you. On your rock I stand, all of the ground is just sinking sand. Every time my turn was taken, every time my world was shaken, every time I'd been mistaken, every time my heart was breaking, deep down inside, I always knew, some way, somehow, I was going to make it through if I just lean into you, my God. No matter what life throws at me, greater is that which abides in me. I lean into you, oh my God. I lean into you.
Thank you, Eddie. It was wonderful. Thank you, Eddie. So my talk title this morning is Say Yes to Life. Earlier this week, I was watching a video on Carl Jung on YouTube, and he was talking about sometimes people get to a place where they no longer feel like life's enjoyable. They don't have a passion. They don't have a vision, or they don't feel purposeful. And I have a little tendency, I like to read the comments about what people think about the video. And I was reading through the comments, and it's surprising to me how many people were in that place. They didn't feel hopeful. They didn't feel like life was worthwhile. And I think sometimes our spiritual teaching, our philosophy, we stay so focused on manifesting joy and health and prosperity that sometimes we ignore that there are times where we don't exactly feel that way. And it's okay. It's okay. It's a part of life. I really like in the Jewish Seder service that you're treated to sweet, sweet wine and then bitter, bitter herbs. And they tell you these are to remember the really wonderful things that have happened in the life, and the bitter herbs to remember sometimes there have been things that weren't so good. And it's about remembering all of that and not denying it, but knowing that that's all part of life. And that's the way it should be, to embrace both of those. In the Hindu text, we're told that we have a right to work, but never to the fruit of our work. And from what I understand, what that means is don't be attached to the results of your actions, but also don't avoid action. Stay involved, stay moving, stay engaged in life. Even in times when joy feels distant, there is purpose to be found. There's a value in continuing the journey and keeping your eyes focused on the goal and moving ahead even when things seem uncertain. Joseph Campbell, he spoke of this when he talked about the hero's journey. He said all of us kind of mirror the hero's journey. In fact, I think just being here, we are a hero. And he says what happens is that we go out in life, we go out all and, ready to conquer the world. And we get out there and we get banged up and bruised a little bit. Or sometimes we get what we were seeking for, but it doesn't really give us the fulfillment that we had hoped for. And I think this can be one of the most dangerous places we can be when we've gotten everything we've wanted, but we're still not happy. We're still left unfulfilled. Because the true goal of life is not about the getting. The true goal of life is to have this knowing, this knowing that we are one with Spirit, this knowing that we are in co-creation with Spirit. That we're just not some potted plant, that we're here to be doing something. We have a purpose, we have a meaning. There's a reason that we are here, and that we're needed and we're necessary. That we are essential to the unfoldment of all of life. Without you, life won't be full. You are needed. You have a role to play. So we want to know how important we are. It's natural to feel shaken from time to time and think to yourself, well, what's the point? Does it really matter if I stay hopeful or not? But it does. Now more than ever, you're needed. It's the time to say yes to life. And that's not a cliche, but as an act of transformation. Saying yes to life doesn't mean that we ignore the struggles of life. It means that we choose how we respond. Life's going to throw at us what it will, but we have the choice. How will we respond? We can refuse to let fear shrink us into inaction. This is the biggest challenge, because if we allow fears to overwhelm us, we get to a place where we can't get the energy to move forward. So it's always important to stay firm in the belief that even in our darkest moments, light is still present, and that we are part of that light. We are part of the illumination that's creating the possibilities for a greater world. More living, more joy and happiness. You are needed. You are a channel of God's mercy and compassion. You have been called by name from stardust, so you can be here. You are needed and you are necessary. I was talking to a teenager that lives down the street from us. He's a really nice guy. He's a senior in high school. He always makes sure to say hello and to engage in conversation, which I think is pretty kind of extraordinary for a teenager. He plays basketball a lot. He practices basketball a lot, many hours. I think just kind of get out of the house. And so when I ask him what he wants to do, of course, he wants to be a basketball star. Now, the old man grump in me would like to warn him of, that's really a tough thing to do. The chances of him being able to succeed at that are very minimum. But I have a better idea, and the better idea is to encourage him. If this is where he's at, if this is the vision of himself, encourage him and turn him over to Spirit. Because we don't really know the larger game plan. It could be that, it could be he succeeds. That is possible. Everything in life is possible. He could become a basketball star. Or he could get on a team with a good coach that teaches him many life lessons, that teaches him about discipline and keeping focus. And his dreams for being a basketball star could morph into, we don't know what. Being a good family guy, being a leader of a company, or just living with integrity. So it's about encouraging people around us as best we can and not thinking that we have to be the answer to everyone's problem, and letting people figure out their life, encouraging them along the way. Because we never know what can happen. And sometimes people who have had challenging lives can hit upon success that no one saw coming. The story about J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter series. She was broke. She was on welfare. She was a single mom. The whole Harry Potter storyline was downloaded to her in the middle of a train ride, and she had to write what she got down on bar naps. She went around to different publishers. Nobody wanted to publish this book. Everybody told her it's too long. Kids aren't interested in wizards. Nobody's going to buy this book. She finally got one publisher to buy it, and it has sold 500 million copies. 500 million. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her job in Boston. She was fired as an anchor woman in Boston. They told her she was too emotional. They told her she wasn't fit for television. That's what they really meant to say, was she was too big for television. That's what they were telling her. She did not let that stop her. She went on, and it was her emotions and her struggle with weight that allowed her to connect with her audience. And who can argue with her success? Another person was close to my heart, Colonel Sanders. Yeah. Colonel Sanders, in his 60s, had upon this recipe. Colonel Sanders lived right close to a second home of mine, London, Kentucky. He was from the next little town over. And he was quite well known in the area there. He had tried to get my Uncle Shelby, to go into business with him. And Uncle Shelby said about Colonel Sanders that he was a crook. He said he was so crooked he'd steal a nickel off of dead man's eyes and slap his face because it wasn't a quarter. Well, I don't know about that, but he took his recipe, he took it on the road. 1,000 restaurants rejected him. 1,000 restaurants rejected him. One said yes, and that one yes created an empire. One yes. Keep on going till you get to your yes. And don't let any amount of no's stop you along the way. Say yes to life. Say yes to your dreams. Say yes to your hopes. In the Tao, we read that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And that one step may be just accepting the idea that you deserve it. You deserve the health. You deserve the success. You deserve the love. You deserve the prosperity. After all, you're a child of God. You haven't come here to crawl through the mud of despair, of lack and limitation. You were gifted with wings to soar. And people are looking to you. You are an example for so many people around you. So it's time to spread our wings. Now, a new thought, we're taught that what we focus on expands. So if we focus on fear, that will expand. If we focus on hopelessness, we'll see more of hopelessness. Emmett Fox said, you must not under any pretense allow your mind to dwell on thoughts that are not positive, constructive, optimistic, and kind. Don't dwell on those thoughts. Don't give them energy. It's okay to have them. You can't, if you're out in the world, if you don't have sometimes unkind thoughts, you're not paying attention. It's okay to have them. Bless yourself and say, and have something prepared. Here's a better idea. Here's a better knowing. Here's something more loving. Here's something more kind. And actually, it's in that pivot, when we pivot from the negative to the positive, we're in the vortex of power. This is when the miracle occurs. This is when we're really in the pilot seat, when we can steer our spacecraft to wherever we want to go and to experience what we want to experience. It doesn't mean that we have to ignore pain or pretend it doesn't exist. It means that even in the presence of fear, we can choose to cultivate something better. We can acknowledge the challenges, but we don't let them define us, and we don't give them energy. Thich Nhat Hanh said, small acts of kindness can transform not only our lives, but the lives of others. We don't have to change the world overnight. We take care of what's right in front of us. You know, one of the best spiritual lessons I ever heard was on PBS. It was at 5 o'clock one Saturday morning. I couldn't sleep, and I got up. And the local PBS channel was interviewing a woman, and she was a gardener. And she had one of the most profound ideas that ever hit me. She said, you know, I don't know what to do about the world's population or about the debt crisis or trade problems. She said, but this little 3/4 of an acre in DeKalb County, she said, I can make that beautiful. And that's what I'm going to do. Do what's right in front of you to make it beautiful, and do what you can. I was thinking about Anne Frank this week, and I was thinking about her dad. Right before they went into hiding, he was very wise. What do you do for a little young teenage girl? You want to keep them occupied for a while? You give them a diary. You give them something to write about. And, you know, I'm sure he didn't imagine the impact her writing was going to have. The words coming out of a 13-year-old girl changed the world. We never know what just a little bit of impact, what a little bit of positive movement, how it can make a big, huge difference. So it's okay to feel uneasy at times, but we can't allow those feelings to take root in us. We've got to redirect them, or otherwise we will become paralyzed. I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt. She says, if you let fear stop you, it will then paralyze you. And you get to a place where you're so drained of energy, you can't move forward. So we want to say yes and about keep going, and knowing that we have power. Things to ask ourselves is, what is I can do today to make the world more loving? How can I, in my own way, be a force of good? And how can I release fear? Fear makes us withdraw. Love calls us to step forward. I was thinking about a young woman. I had read about her many, many years ago. She lived in maybe the Virgin Islands, one of those beautiful tropical islands where tourists come in from all over the world to enjoy the beach. And they come, and as all tourists do, what do? They buy things that aren't going to last very long, you know, rubber sandals or whatever, and then they break and they just leave them on the beach. And she was seeing all this trash being left on her beautiful beaches. Now, it would have been very easy of her to get angry and frustrated about the tourist coming to her island and trashing it. But instead, what she began to do is collect the stuff, and then she's remaking it into artwork. And she's become world famous for this artwork. She took a problem that she could have easily gotten angry about, and instead, using spiritual alchemy, she created a solution. And now, what are the tourists doing? They're buying up her artwork. and they're providing a solution for her. She's making a living off of this. A small choice made with love can transform a problem into a solution, can transform a problem into a miracle. If we stay focused, if we don't allow the frustration and anger to boil up in our systems, because you have all that anger and frustration, you can't find a solution. It's when we're calm and when we're peaceful that we can hear the voice of Spirit suggesting a better way for us. Dr. King, when he was in the middle of the civil rights movement in 1961, the movement wasn't going the way he had hoped it would. They were meeting some real resistance, and he got a call from Albany, Georgia. If you haven't been to Albany, Georgia, don't bother. The interstate even avoided Albany, Georgia. I've been there many times. It was in the district the congressman I worked for was in. So I visited Albany many times. Lovely people. Dr. King didn't want to go there. He didn't want to go there. He didn't think that was where the movement should go. He thought the movement's success was going to be in large cities, in Philadelphia, Detroit, and New York, and Atlanta. That's where he thought the movement was going to have his success. He didn't see how these very impoverished field workers and day laborers and housekeepers, he didn't envision how they could really rally a movement. And so he didn't want to do it, but they kept on after him. He went to Albany, and what he found is, yes, they were laundry people, they were cleaners, they were field workers, but they had so much passion, and their passion came through in their music. And he heard their gospel, he heard their passion, he heard their energy, and it pumped him up to keep going. It pumped him up to keep moving on, to see his vision, to see his success. You never know, even sometimes when it doesn't look like it's working, it's still working. Hold tight to your vision. Hold tight to your possibilities. Saying yes does not mean anchoring ourselves not to the chaos of life, but in the stability of faith. The stability of knowing who you are and whose you are. You're a child of God, and you've come here to do something wonderful. And when you anchor yourself in that peace that cannot be disturbed, then the chaos of the world is not going to bother you. Mother Teresa says, we don't do great things, only small things with great love. It's easy to feel like our little small actions don't matter, but history shows otherwise. It's not just grand acts that change the world, it's accumulation of small choices that makes a difference. If you're feeling overwhelmed by life, take a deep breath and ask yourself, can I be a source of calm in my house and in my circle, among my friends and family? Can I encourage someone who's struggling? Can I turn my fear into service? Can I do some good? Anne Frank, one of the last entries that she wrote in her diary, she said, in spite of everything, I still believe that humans are good. Imagine this teenage girl who wanted to be with her friends, who wanted to be outside, was stuck in a place small than what we consider a closet, but yet she still clung to the idea that the core of us was good, the core of us was loving. If that little Jewish girl hidden away could still hold on to hope and still hold on to love, to still hold on to the possibilities of life, then what is our excuse? Spirit has faith in you. Believe in yourself. Believe in the goodness of life, the power of love, and the endless possibilities of hope. Say yes to life, and life will say yes to you. This is the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm saying yes, 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 yes to life. I'm saying yes, yes to life. I'm saying yes, 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 yes to life. I'm saying yes, 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 woo, yes to life, yeah. I'm saying yes to life. Right here, right now, yes. The spirit of love within me is expressing itself right now. The spirit of joy within me is expressing itself right now. What are we gonna create today? The universe is ready to play. Spirit surely will lead the way. It's just say yes. Say yes. I'm saying yes. Yes, yes, yes to life. Ooh, I'm saying yes. Yes, yes, yes to life. I'm saying yes. Yes, 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 yes to life. I'm saying yes. Yes, 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 yes. Woo! Yes to life. I'm saying yes to life, right here, right now. Yes. The spirit of life within me is expressing itself right now. The spirit of life within me is expressing itself right now. Whatsoever you conceive, if you believe it, you can achieve it. The universe will always agree. If you just say yes, say what? Say yes. Yes. I'm saying yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm saying yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm saying yes. Yes, 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 yes. Woo! It's alive. I'm saying yes to life. I'm saying yes, 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 yes. Say yes.
Thank you, Eddie. Now comes a time where we get to say yes to the center. And we say yes to the center. And notice how I did that? That was kind of sneaky, eh? We say yes to the center by supporting it. And you can support us in contributions. You can support us in prayer work. You can support us in volunteering. However you choose to support us, know that we're very grateful, and that contribution is going to return to you multiplied abundantly. So if you take your hand and put it over your heart and read with me this intention of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. The ushers step down. Well, thank you in advance for your generous contribution. And Eddie, I know you got something that's going to rock.
All I need's are met.
All our needs are met.
I'm singing all our needs are met. All our needs are met. All our needs are met. Yes.
All our needs are met.
Just say life. Yes to life. All my needs are met. Yes.
All our needs are met.
Woo! Sometimes I forget that all my needs are met. Now and then I fall asleep, thinking things I don't believe, until I wake up in gratefulness, counting all the ways I'm blessed, that all my needs are met. There were times I recall when I couldn't see the light of day. Somehow, sweet Spirit made a way out of no way. And that is why I testify, no matter how dark it gets, that all our needs are met. I could not have come this far without the everlasting arms, my shelter from the cold. I'm so grateful that I know, 'cause there were times when I thought I couldn't make it through another day. But somehow, sweet, sweet Spirit made a way out of no way. I saw the light, I testify, no matter how dark it gets, no matter how dark it gets. Do y'all hear me this morning? No matter how hard it gets, no matter how dark it gets, don't you know that all I need are made. All I need is a man.
To continue to being the beacon of love and hope and compassion. So we thank you, we bless it, we release it, knowing it does its good and powerful work, returning to us multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, guys, we're going to conclude the service with an affirmative prayer. I'm going to do it in the first person, but take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, well, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. There is but one God and one mind and one power. That power is perfect love. It's divine intelligence. And it called me by name from stardust so I could walk the soil of St. Augustine. And here today in this sacred space filled with all these wonderful loving souls, I now choose to see myself as God sees me. Not as weak or wounded, but bold, dynamic, victorious, moving out into the world and making a difference with my love and compassion and kindness. Here today I am saying yes to life. Yes to the glory of it. Yes to the success of it. Yes to knowing the Spirit is with me, flowing through me. And together, there is nothing in the world that can hold us back. There is nothing that mankind can throw in our way. There is no obstacle. There's no blockage. Here today, I am choosing to lift my eyes to the glory of God raining down upon me. Here today, I choose to see myself strong, dynamic, victorious, moving out into the world and making a difference. God and I have work to do, and we're about good work, good purpose. We're about making a difference. We're about lifting up and inspiring and encouraging. We are on the move, and I am not turning back. I have seen the glory of God made manifest, and I am on my way home. And there is no one, no person, no man, no obstacle that's going to keep me from my destiny. Home and heaven is my journey, and I am on the move. This is my truth. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing. And I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and purpose, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my dear friends, I'm going to leave you with one last thought, and that is your life. Your life. It's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle Spirit is calling us to be. Until we see each other again, this is Reverend Ken with Eddie Watkins Jr. wishing you many blessings.
Please stand and join us for the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God at the door, family all are we. Let us walk with our family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment